Okay, here is the situation. In this video about XRP, we are going to check out this part of the price action specifically, and I'm going to tell you why there is a very high chance that soon, probably in the next couple of days, we are going to continue this move on the upside, and in it, we're going to set an all-time high and take the highest side around $3.50. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And before talking about XRP and what is going on in here, I need to tell you, in the coming days, I'm going to put an hour to maybe even an hour and a half long video out for my members, and it's going to be about the altcoins that I'm holding and their bull run targets and what might happen in the next couple of months for Bitcoin and also the whole altcoin market. So if you are interested in those informations, you can become a member and ask me anything you want, or if you have some specific altcoins that you want me to do a complete analysis on them, you can also become a member and ask me about those coins. And now let's talk about XRP and see what is going on in here. So if you remember the last time that we talked about Ripple, we were somewhere around these areas, and I said, look, in here we are having a very important resistance area, which is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time between, let's say, 1.7 to about $2 area. Now, for the reasons that we talked about in the previous video, we said, look, we are going to get soon a big move up in order to get a solid break of this very important resistance area. And at that point, our move up is going to accelerate quite a bit. And the idea was that there is a very high chance that in XRP, we are having from this low 5-wave up into a wave 1, correction on the downside, probably in form of an ABC zigzag. And this huge move up is going to be into this wave 3, and then we're going to have correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. And as you can see, we did get a huge move on the upside, about, let's say, maybe like a 50% move. Now, I want to be very clear. Just because I called this move before it happened doesn't mean that I am right 100% of the time. This is just simply not true. I'm only trying to get it right 6 out of 10 times. This just happened to be one of those times that I was right. So I want you to fully understand this. You shouldn't really put a whole lot of hopes in mine, or for that matter, any other analysis on YouTube. Understood? Okay, because what I'm about to tell you is actually quite bullish. You see, in my opinion, there is a very high chance that this move up right in here is actually not over yet. Why is that? Let's go around this area. In case that you are a new viewer, which I do know a lot of you are, because these days, every single time that I make new videos, I get a bunch of new viewers and subs. You should know that in terms of Elliott Waves, if you want to argue that the bottom is in and overall you want to be bullish, then okay, you need to be able to find a 5-wave impulsive structure on the upside, something like this. And in terms of the subwaves, you must have 5-wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's say, sure, an A, B, C structure into wave 4, and yep, a WXY into wave 2. Now, the main rules for this 5-wave on the upside are that we shouldn't have, in case that we're having in here, a normal 5-wave overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive movement, wave 3, under any kind of circumstances, just should not be the smallest wave. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So here is the first reason for why I believe that our move up most likely is not over. If you want to argue that this thing right in here is going to be a correction structure, then okay, after this move down, do we have some moves on the downside which are quite similar to this one? The answer is no. In order to have something like this, you need to have at least, I would say, about a week of choppy price action. And then you can argue, well, okay, maybe this is going to be our wave 4. And after it, even we're going to have another move up into wave 5. And this is the important point. We're not even having this wave 4 yet. And I would argue we may not even have it now. Why is that? Well, here is the situation. We said this move up right in here is very strong, which is a characteristic of an impulsive structure, probably into this wave 3. The question is, how are you exactly able to find a 5-wave up in this area? Well, I can tell you we can have many different possibilities, but the most sensible And believe it or not, conservative scenario suggests that this is maybe a 1, 2, and then, yeah, sure, let's say this point can be the end of our wave 3, and followed by that, we can have an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle into wave 4, and at the moment, we are on our way to have a decent move up into wave 5. Now, here's a very important point. There's this concept called extension, and it usually happens into a wave 3. However, based on what I'm seeing, I'm gonna argue that extension in this case didn't actually happen into this wave, and most likely it is happening right now into our wave 5. So what's the message in here? The message is there is a good chance we are having at the moment the sub waves for this wave 5. Again, I want you to fully understand this according to the most conservative scenario, meaning from this point or this point doesn't really matter. This can be a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and this move on the upside is going to continue for quite a bit, and it's going to be into this wave 3, and thereafter we're going to have correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and maybe at that point we are going to be able to say, you know what, this white 5 wave up into this wave 3 is over, and it's going to be time to have a correction structure, which I want to be very clear, it's not even going to be that deep into wave 4, and afterwards, what are we going to have? Even another huge move on the upside into wave 5. So for now, based on what I just told you, in my opinion, there's a very good chance our move up in Ripple simply is just not over yet. Now, the question is, what can be a lucky target for this move on the upside? Well, I'm going to argue there is a very high chance that in this phase, we are actually going to set an all-time high and take the highest side around $3.50 in XRP, which means from this region, we can expect about a 40 to maybe even 60-70% more move on the upside. This is, in my opinion, definitely likely. And do we have some more evidence that suggests maybe this is going to happen? The answer is yes. Why was this area so important to us? Because we said before, above here, we're not having a whole lot of strong resistances, and chances are, we said, when we get a break of this thing, the next target naturally is going to be setting an all-time high and taking the highest high. And based on the structures in here, I'm going to tell you, it seems like that possibility is indeed in play. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In my opinion, this thing right in here was pretty much the last important area in XRP, and we broke this thing with absolute authority. And based on Elliott Waves and also Class ETA, I would argue chances are our move up is not over yet, and we can have, starting from even the current point, another 50 to even 60% move up in order to set an all-time high and take the highest high about $3.50. Does that mean that after taking the highest high, we're going to get a big move down? Absolutely not. We're just going to get a relatively, I would say, drawn out correction structure in order to gather the power for the next huge move up, hopefully into this wave 5 right in here. And here's the situation, even at this point, our move up in XRP is just not over yet. For 7 long years, we had a drawn out correction structure. And usually when you have something like that, it means that the next phase on the upside is going to get extremely extended. And I just do not believe that somewhere around $3.50, $4, maybe even $7, $8 our move up in XRP in this bull run and in this cycle is going to be over. No, I think we are going to see in this cycle something very special in Ripple. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XRP's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.